Hey guys, EDDBUD, and today I'm back with my top 3 shoes of 2020 so far. And one bonus shoe too. Why not have a bonus shoe? Brucey's bonus. Ooh, didn't they do well? Before I get to the top 3, I'd really appreciate it if you'd hit the subscribe button and click the bell for notifications below as to when new videos are launched. And give the like button a whack as well. Shoe number 1 is the Takumi Sen 6 from Adidas. So I've been really enjoying this super light and super responsive racing shoe. It's got boost in the forefoot here, and it uses light strike throughout the rest of the midsole. It's got an incredibly textured outsole as well. I think you could grind down flour with that if you wanted to. There's loads of grippy protrusions there on the outsole, all made of continental rubber as well. You know that's my favourite. I was excited to get an Adidas shoe with light strike and boost implemented into the midsole, and it doesn't let down. So lots of Adidas's new technologies have been implemented into this shoe, and it really doesn't let down at all-out tempo or interval pace. Although I can imagine this shoe probably isn't for everybody, it certainly is a tight-fitting shoe. It really does have a race kind of fit about it. When you put it on, you feel like you need to be going fast, or you're a complete fraud. I think minimal is the word when you talk about this shoe. There's everything about it's minimised. The padding around the heel collar. The tongue is incredibly thin. It is wafer thin. Even the laces are slightly thinner. Just everything's been minimised with this one. The upper's extremely light and soft, though I'd say I'm probably gonna do a bit of EDDBUD modding with the laces. Maybe switch them out for some that have got a little bit more width about them. They're a little bit short as well. I've noticed I don't have an awful lot left right at the top here to do a double knot. It's certainly a shoe that teaches and prompts you to get up on your toes with a midfoot or forefoot strike. It only really seems to be around in Europe, this one. I've not seen it over in America, just select areas amongst the world, this one. So if you can try it out, please do. I got it for around about £120. I haven't felt shortchanged from that whatsoever. So really pleased to have this one in the top 3 of 2020 so far. Spot number 2 is the Nike Alphafly Next Percent. Few shoes capture imagination like this one does. It certainly is exciting to run in, and I have to say, straight out of the box, more stable to me than the Next Percent ever was. And of course you've got that propulsion. It certainly rewards you for getting up on your toes onto the midfoot. It's kind of like vintage Botham hitting a 6 each time you hit that sweet spot up here round about the Air Zoom bags. Are they bags? Are they units? I'm not sure what they are. They're sort of pods. They're all 3 of those things. It's not quite as light as that 215 gram Adidas Takumi Sen, but it certainly is propulsive. At my goal half marathon pace of around about 6 minutes 50 seconds per mile, it really is honey on toast, maybe with a little spread of butter as well, and a nice hot coffee. I think I'm hungry again. I don't know if you find that at the moment. I'm just really hungry during lockdown, or just eating everything like some sort of goat or something. Always wanted a goat. I have to say though, the jury is still out on this one in terms of durability. Is it going to be more durable than the Next Percent? I've got to say, I'm a little worried about that. I think those Zoom AirPods are going to outlive the actual outsole rubber, which is already showing some signs of degradation after about 30 miles of use. I'll be running a half marathon time trial in these very soon, possibly towards the end of next week, to give you a non-elite, vaguely fit Englishman's honest views and opinions. That's the only ones I can give you because that's what I am. I got to tell you, the retail price suggested on the box for these is $275. That's a lot of money. So I do hope my honest opinions and views are near perfect to try and justify that price. It is a big price. Shoe number 3 in my top 3 of 2020 so far, in no particular order, is the New Balance Fuelcell TC. I gotta be honest, this is a really great shoe. I've really been enjoying running some tempo paces in this one. I think I've been using it for about 3 or so weeks. It wasn't a shoe I was going to pick up. It was very much EDDBUD woke up, he went on his computer, he had a coffee and some cereal, I think it was some bran flakes possibly, and I saw the shoe was available on the New Balance website and I just kind of fell in love with it. I just really love it aesthetically. I think it's a beautiful shoe. What do you think? It does have a few drawbacks, I will be honest with you. It's certainly highly cushioned. There's a real spring to that Fuelcell midsole. If you've used Fuelcell before, you'll know what I mean. That really does throw you forward like some sort of catapult. I used to have a catapult when I was a kid. I think it got confiscated at one point. I was normally a good boy though. It does provide some real snap on toe off. You can really feel actually the carbon plate. I'd suggest this shoe is probably one of the closest things that I've found to the Vaporfly 4% Flyknit. Despite the increased weight, I do feel that the Fuelcell TC is kind of like a cousin really to the Fuelcell Rebel. It's equally quick. I've found that I can achieve some high paces at sustained levels of effort recently in the TC. That protrusion on the outer side of the shoe really does help with stability. It feels like a much more stable shoe on foot than the 4% Flyknit ever did. So if you found that shoe to be just overly narrow, this one could well be a good option for you. I found it 7 minutes per mile pace. This is a great training option. It's particularly exhilarating actually. I really enjoyed running in some very hot conditions earlier in the week in the TC. In fact, the heat seemed to make the midsole even more springy and cushioned. So certainly a good one for tempo options or perhaps threshold runs. It's not too hot a shoe either. I wore some quite light socks on that very warm training session the other day, and the TC really hit the spot. It's almost as good as my wife's flapjack that she made recently. I've eaten a lot of that flapjack. But hey, we just hit Friday and I'm on 30 miles already, so it's going to be a big week. And for a big week, you need big flapjack consumption. Yeah, Coach Ed tells you, eat more flapjack. So really enjoying this one. I'm going to get to 100 miles in it very, very quickly. We got a bonus shoe. It's got to be the Reebok Forever Float Ride Energy 2. This shoe, for the price I bought it at, is ridiculously good value. I've tried it at all sorts of different paces. It works quite well for me around about 7 minutes 30 per mile pace, which is kind of like tempo pace for me really. It's springy, it fits well, the shoe itself is relatively breathable, the upper's well constructed. I like the flare on the Achilles there. I don't have anything bad to say about this shoe so far. Perhaps the laces actually, the laces are a bit weird. They're these kind of like blocky rope laces, so I'm not too keen on them. Maybe I'll switch them out with laces from another shoe and give them a whirl. But for the price, I thoroughly recommend you go and check this one out. Reebok seem to be floating under the radar a little bit at the moment. They got lots of good shoes coming out, and I don't see anybody with any negative views on them. It's not really an option that a lot of people think of. Reebok, they go for Nike, they go for Adidas, they go for Saucony, but these, I do stress, go and check them out. If you can get them on a good deal, Reebok often have some good deals up on the website, 30-40% off. This is the one to go for. If any of you have any experiences in other Reebok models, please post your opinions down below in the comments to help out the other viewers. I don't think anybody can find anything bad to say about this shoe. The upper's relatively breathable, and it needs to be right now. Certainly in the UK, temperatures have really warmed up. The tongue's not too thick. It does what it needs to do. It's got this kind of strange tab on it. I'm not too sure about that. I don't think aesthetically it's one of the best shoes I've got. It does have a certain old school 90s kind of look, and I'm not talking sort of Jordan 5 look. And it's got a pull tab on it as well at the back. I mean, what more do you want? For 29 quid, I don't think I'm going to lose with this one. I've been enjoying running in it, and that's what matters, right? I hope you've enjoyed the video today, guys. Please list up in the comments your top three running shoes of 2020 so far. It's time for a musical interlude. Today I finally found, after searching for it for several weeks, this fantastic album by the 1990s. It's called Cookies. This one came out back in 2007. It's an album engineered by the famous guitar player Bernard Butler, and it features the fantastic Scottish band the 1990s. These guys knock out sort of old school garage, indie rock, Stones-esque tracks. You'll really love them. Really simple guitar riffs, very characterful vocals actually. They kind of sound like they are. They're not trying to put on some weird kind of accent. A brilliant band, very overlooked. I think they only released a couple of albums. I'm not sure they were entirely that successful. I guess with a name like the 1990s, maybe they seemed a bit old hat by that time, but certainly worth checking out. You Made Me Like It and Stomping cult status. They're just brilliant tracks. I think there's a song about a local store that they used to go to as well. The Pollock Shields Mini Market. There's a little picture of it inside. Maybe they fondly used to go there to buy supplies and provisions. I really like the track Enjoying Myself as well. That's a brilliant track. I love it when people give interesting titles to songs. I mean, like Eternal Love or something like that, or Back for Good. Oh, gee. You know, this has got some really interesting titles. See You at the Lights. Is there a switch for that? See, that's what I mean. Go check this out. It's called Cookies by the 1990s. I think I'm a bit stuck in the 1990s, but I don't care. Right, it's time for me to mosey on out of here and go and watch a musical on YouTube. Please remember to hit the subscribe button and click the bell for notifications below as to when new videos are launched. Remember to comment with your top 3 running shoes of 2020 and hit that like button as well. It really does help to get us to the toppermost of the poppermost. My name's EDDBUD and I'll be seeing you